Thank you, to Meditation Magic, the hosts, and to all the participants for giving me this opportunity to share wisdom on this book called Anastasia. So, before I begin, I would I'm curious to know how many are new to this book or if anybody has read or heard about this book. Anyone? Okay. So, yes, looks like a lot of people are new to this book. When I first heard about this book, I read the name as Anastasia. I read it as anesthesia, which is the medical drug we are all familiar with, right? That is used to make somebody unconscious during the procedures. That is how I read it. But only later I realized it's not anesthesia, but it is Anastasia. It is called Anastasia. Could you please repeat after me the word Anastasia? Okay. So this book is written by a Russian man called Vladimir Megre, and Anastasia is the first book from the series called The Ringing Cedars of Russia, which was published in the mid 90s, probably 95 or 1996. And so far, 10 volumes have been released, and this book sold more than 10 million copies by 20, I think by 2005. And it has been translated into 20 languages. So the book is, about a lady named Anastasia who is born in Russia and lives in Siberian Tiga. Tiga is, a Russian name for forest. It's like a synonym for forest. So Siberian Tiga. And even Patriji spoke about her in many videos. Patriji used to call her Lady Tarzan. So through this book and through this person called Vladimir Megre, Anastasia, she shared her incredible ideas on various subjects like, spiritual farming, gardening, protecting nature, sexuality, raising children, and many more. So let's get into the story. And I should call this this is a real time story, by the way. So Anastasia, she was born and brought up in the jungle, and she lives with plants and animals. And she always lived in the jungle, and she has no connection with the outside world. She never visited the outside world. From the time she was born, she has always been in the jungle. So Vladimir Megre, who is completely a businessman, he happens to know about the cedar trees when he visited this place called Obi River. So cedar trees are very significant and they have a very significant value. And we will talk about its significance in next few minutes. So Vladimir Magre, he wants to make business from cedar trees and he wants to make money out of it. So he goes into the forest where he meets Anastasia and he lives there for 3 days. So when he first sees Anastasia, Anastasia is very young, very charming, and very beautiful. So when he first sees her, she was wearing a simple, a thin dress with a small cardigan. And imagine this being in forest, and Vladimir Megre was already wearing 6 to 7 layers of warm clothes, and then even then he was feeling very cold. So, but this lady, is, wearing a very simple dress. And, he was amazed, looking at her dress. So as they start to walk into the jungle, Anastasia, what she does, she takes her cardigan out. And as she walks, he finds Vladimir Megre sees Anastasia. As she walks, she's, dancing, jumping in the forest. I mean, jumping on her way, as if, she's enjoying the walk and as if she knows every corner of the forest. So he gets very surprised and, thinks that, she's very crazy because, she's already took her cardigan off, while, while he was feeling very cold. And as she is walking, he sees that all the animals and the birds are coming along the way. And, they are like, joining to sing along with Anastasia. They are also humming along with her. So Vladimir Megre is a very common man. He has absolutely no idea about spirituality or connection with nature or any mystical things. And he finds this lady to be very mystical. So what happens? They walk in the forest, and evening passes, and Anastasia, she shows him the cedar trees and explains how these trees, will heal people and the entire world. So cedar trees are like long pine trees that are filled with energy from the cosmic. And these trees, they store universe information from the universe. Like they live for 555, about 550 years, and they're filled with cosmic energy and information from the universe. So they store this energy in each part of the tree, be it like the bark of the tree, the wood, the seeds, the oil, each and every part of this tree carries that universal information. So whoever consumes or uses any of these products, they will be instilled with this energy and information from universe. So all the people around that in that village and around the forest, right? They know the value of these cedar trees. So what they do, they wear pendants made out of this the cedar wood, just to keep them connected with the nature and the universe. So the night passes, and Anastasia then shows Vladimir the place she stays, where she eats and she sleeps and lives. So Vladimir Megre, he totally gets mad because there is no room, there is no house or no bed or no food or anything. Literally, there is nothing there. Anastasia lives in jungle as is. There is no place called, a house or a room. So he freaks out very much and he starts to yell at Anastasia. So after all this have, and after he freaks out, she gives him some food, like some fruits and fresh fruits and some things from the forest, and she arranges a bed for him. So as he was tired all this day, walking in the jungle, he's very tired, so he falls asleep. And the time he wakes up in the morning, he thinks that was the best sleep ever. So uh, as he walks out of the bed and comes out away from the place, then he sees a big bear behind him coming out the same way. So he again freaks out and runs to Anastasia, complaining that there is a big bear coming along with me behind me. So then Anastasia smiles. She tells him that, that was your bed last night. The bear was your bed last night. That is what gave you that much comfort and warmth. And that's what it happened. Again, this man, right? He again freaks out and, he scolds her a lot. See, most of the conversation between Vladimir and Anastasia in the beginning days is like most of the times he will be scolding her. See, though one way he's, he feels, she's like, amazing, and he gets fascinated with her looks and all. But the other side, he gets frustrated, with, how she is like living and how he's been treated. So he stays there in the forest for 3 days. And during these 3 days, right, Anastasia, she talks about a variety of things. They both will have conversation about a variety of things. And she tells him how to plant the seeds. So, friends, Anastasia, she has her own way of planting seeds. And I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the process, but I did hear this way of planting seeds before. So what she says is, whatever plant you are you are planning to grow, you have to take that seeds. You have to take those seeds and put them under your tongue. Okay, put them under your tongue and let them sit in your saliva for 9 minutes. You heard me right? You have to put them under your tongue, let them in your saliva, let them sit in your saliva for 9 minutes. So after 9 minutes, you take them out and then plant them. So there is a little more process attached to it. We can talk about it after the session if time permits. But basically you have to soak the seeds in your saliva and then plant them. So what happens when you soak them in your when you soak these seeds in your saliva? The seeds, right? Mm, Saliva is the first water they absorb, and they read and capture your body conditions, what your body needs, whatever nutrients you are lacking. It reads all the conditions of your body, and it when it starts to give the fruits or vegetables back, those fruits or vegetables, they will have all the nutritions that are needed to heal your body. So I hope you all could understand. Say if I like, so if I put the cucumber seeds under my tongue and let them soak in my saliva, and I plant those cucumber seeds, so the cucumbers I get from that plant, they know what kind of nutritions my body needs to keep me healthy, or how to heal myself. Those plants, when I consume those fruits or vegetables, they help me heal by myself. So this is the one technique that, that she suggested. And a lot of villagers around that forest, they all follow the same process. So, and Anastasia helps them grow the plantation this way. So this is one thing she suggested. And from book one, she shares why humans are created, how we are created, and how these days we got distracted, how society is driving us very crazy, why people are getting sick, and why many of us are not happy. So imagine, friends, she is not in touch with the outside world, but then she is aware of everything that is happening in the outside world. She knows why people are not happy. She knows people are getting sick, and she knows that everybody is like nobody, there is no connection within themselves, or so basically she knows everything that is happening around the world. So she talks about all these topics in a very brief manner to Vladimir. So Vladimir, he gets very excited. At the same time, he's very amazed how this lady is able to figure out all that is happening in the outside world. So, and by the way, she was answering all the questions and solving all the problems like scholars does. So she was answering everything like scholars how they do, and how they understand and give solutions. Right? She was answering everything in that way. So then Vladimir, right, he asks her, "Oh, so do you know everything?" Uh, he says that, our people in our world are much smarter than you. And our people are doing a lot of researchers, and they're doing a lot of studies, and, they are problem solvers. We even have computers, he says. And then Anastasia says, these people are the ones, I mean, these are the ones that are creating the problems. And the solutions they're finding, they're not right. She says these solutions that these guys are finding, they're not the right ones. In fact, she tells Vladimir not to compare her with a computer, because, she tells her skills are much more higher than any of these. So then what Vladimir does, he brings up the pollution problem from the vehicles, and asks her to solve this problem. He asks this in a very sarcastic way, so to tease her and test her skills. So what she does, she comes up with a solution, and she designs a car with a very simple engine, and explains to him how a person should build a car, so that the atmosphere will not get polluted. So this design is very clearly described in the book. Right now we are not digging deep into the solutions, considering the time. But yes, she gives a very beautiful solution. And he goes crazy with that idea. How come within few minutes this lady came up with such a great plan that no man thought of till now? So from there, he gets so fascinated, and he knows that this lady has greater information that everyone should listen to, and that he should listen to her. And then she talks about how to solve money problem, how to solve health problems, relation problems, and how to live with nature. So from the first book, she shares how one should live in a very natural way, and how one should take care of the nature, and how to grow their own vegetables and fruits. So, and as I mentioned, this is like a series of 10 books. So in the second book is mostly about her childhood. So Anastasia, when she was born and when she was a 3-year-old baby, her mom and dad passes away when she was 3 years old. So her grandfather and her great grandfather, they both decide, to leave Anastasia, the 3-year-old Anastasia, leave her in the nature and in the jungle, knowing that the nature will take care of her. So imagine like leaving a 3-year-old baby in the forest all by herself, just believing that the nature will take care. So one explanation, how she is one explanation is how she's getting protected by the nature. A blue light always used to surround her, and even when she was a baby, this blue light always protected her. And Anastasia was able to communicate with the blue light, and the vice versa. The light also was communicating with Anastasia. So right from when she was a baby, this light always surrounded her, and still till now she's always surrounded by this blue light. So even once Vladimir also happened to go very close to Anastasia, and then he suddenly faints because of that high blue light that is protecting her. So that light does not let any harm happen to Anastasia, and nothing can go wrong without Anastasia's permissions. So nature is always been protecting her. And in her childhood, right, from that second book, she shares how her childhood was. Her teachers and her friends were always animals. If she needed some tour in jungle, some eagles would come and take her for rounds. And the bears, they always nurtured her like a mother, always cuddling her while she's sleeping, getting her food and the honey from the forests. And the squirrels, they used to get her food, like the dried mushrooms and some seeds. So the foxes and wolves, every animal was taking care of her in one or the other way. So she had an amazing childhood. So, and also looks seems that Anastasia is a very fast learner, and in fact her she was learning faster than anybody else. She says, whatever knowledge we want to learn from the universe, be it like Vedas or scriptures or anything, everything is in the tree alignment, is what she says. Like say in a jungle, when how the trees are aligned, tells her a story. If she wants to know about something, looking at the tree alignment, there is a story from it, and she absorbs that knowledge from the looking at the tree alignment. And she also talks about, man's creation, like from the inspiration, man created, man people were created, right? Humans were created, and these man are created to create and co-create. Man is not like just a human being. We are all created as gods, and we all have the ability to co-create. But we all lost that ability by taking the wrong beliefs, or thinking patterns, or our yeah, the thinking patterns got messed up, and our thinking capacity is very slowed down, right? We do not trust ourselves, or we are moving away from love. And Anastasia says that all of us, we are all living in dark energies. So by dark energies, it does not mean evil, but dark energies means that how we are all habituated to the technology these days, right? Be it the phones, the computers, or the electronics, how technology is impacting our personal and social lives. Like we are getting, that uh, connection loss, right? Like with the humans, and we stop to think much, and we are not sharing love. So she talks about all of this. So imagine again, she's never stepped out of the forest, but then she still is aware of what is impacting the human people, and what is uh, bothering everybody these days. And other thing she says is, she says thoughts, images plays a major role than our words. So when you think, it will happen. When you think and when you can create an image, she says that has to happen. So thoughts have that much power. We are not thinking, but what we are doing, we are not thinking right, right? We are always thinking poverty, we are thinking global warming, we are always thinking about not getting good rains. So the way we are thinking, we are creating our own problems for us, right? We are creating that situations for us just by our thinking. So, and also she talks about the limitations. I mean, she tells that, you know, there is no limit to man's creation, and man can create literally everything. And Vladimir, he being a very common person, not not aware, not no idea about spirituality or anything, he will not believe her words. So, and he asks, how come our thoughts can manifest things? So then Anastasia tells him, okay, I will take you to the thoughts world and I will show you how these thoughts work. So they both sit in meditation with their astral body and they go to thoughts world. So there Anastasia tells him so that whatever you think and imagine will come into your hands. So again, Vladimir does not believe her words. So what he does, but he sees people around him in that astral world, right? He sees that, you know, how people are thinking and how they are reimaging, and you know how they are able to manifest things. He sees that happening around him with the other people. So now he understands that whatever we are creating, and we are exactly receiving the same thing. He understand, he gets that point. So then Anastasia tells him that, you know, okay, let's manifest one thing together. So Anastasia tells Vladimir to, you know, just imagine something and, you know, let's manifest it together. Then Vladimir, he chooses a nice car. He wants a nice car. So he thinks of, you know, a nice car you know, with a very nice color and, you know, with some details. So he imagines himself like a very good car. So Anastasia tells him, you know, add as much details as you can. And then so he thinks about it, and after some time, yes, a car comes out. So he manifested a car. It did come out, and it looks super cool. As he expected, you know, it has beautiful color. It has golden wheels and whatnot, right? It's a fancy car which looked amazing. But then he sees that that car door is not opening, and the rims of there are no rims to the wheels, and there is no steering inside. So again, he comes back, you know, frustrated to Anastasia and says, okay, what is this? You looks like this is a car, but this is not a real car, and you gave me a toy car, which is of no use. It's not going to run. So he's frustrated and freaks out. As I mentioned, right, most of the initial conversations in between these two people are about, you know, he kinds of scolds her all the time. Okay, so then Anastasia says, this is what you created. You gave this many details, and this is what came out. So you should have given more details, and you know you would receive the same thing. That's what Anastasia tells Vladimir. So from this simple exercise, now he knows and understands like how accurate, how clear should our thoughts be to manifest something. And we also learned this concept, right? If you are manifesting, you know, our thoughts have to be very clear. We all learned this concept before. So that concept was covered there. And in another book going forward, Anastasia, right, she explains how the culture in Vedic civilization, how those people in that Vedic civilization lived, and you know how people used to get married. She talks about it. So, and she says everybody should live in their own domain. By domain, she means that everybody should have their own land or their family land. And she suggests that everyone to get some land, build their own home, build a garden in the place, and live in their own space. And then she says you will see the benefits and benefits out of it, and you will be the happiest person. So she encourages everybody to do that. So, then she talks about how people in the Vedic culture used to live. So, it seems like, no, those people never got sick. They don't know what is sickness even at the age of 120 or 140 years. Every person's thought were so pure. Even if one person was feeling low, everyone in that place, you know, around that place will get to know that, you know, there is some change in the vibration or some change in the air. That is how sensitive they were. So there was so much love in between those people, and there was so much love for the nature, so much love for the creation. Those people were always happy and joyful, and they were always in celebration mode, and they were creating the best moments for themselves and others. So that is how they used to live. And she also talks about how people then used to get married. So this is how it was in those days. So when a couple sees each other, right, a bride and the groom, they see each other, they meet during any carnivals, and once they like each other, and they when they decide to marry, so what the couple do, they both of them together, they go select a place for them. They find a place where they want to live, and every day they both of them would go to that place, meditate there for some time, and they make a plan, as in that place where they should have a building, I mean a home, or where their plants should be grown, or where the pet should be, put everything. Like every day they go and make some plans there. Also every day they meditate in that land, so they give energies to that place. And as they decide, as I mean, this goes on for some days, and as they decide on agree on a particular plan, so then that is when they get married. So as the plan confirms, as once the plan is confirmed, this is their plan and this is what they want to do in that land, that is when they get married in the same land. And they call all the people around, right? All the neighbors and everybody in that village. And what all these people used to do when they come for the marriage, they used to gift them the best thing that they have. They, not out of obligation, but they used to bring something best that they can bring to the couple. It could be, plants, or it could be some seeds, or some wood that, they can make furniture for the home. So, like this, they used to bring something best that they can give to anybody. And then, so the boy on the marriage day, the boy and girl, they announce, before the marriage, they announce this plan to all the rest of the crowd. Like, okay, this is how we want to make a home here, all that plan they share with everybody. And they they tell them that yeah, we are going to create our own happy space here, and so they basically share their plan with them. So after the marriage, the boy and girl, again, what they do, they go back to their respective homes that day. And the next day, so along the couple, along with all the villagers again, so everybody that attended the marriage, they all assemble in the same place where the marriage happened, and they all start to build the house together. And whoever gifted the plants, right, they go along with the couple and they plant those plants. And they also start, other villagers, right, they all help to get the house started. So it was such a beautiful activity they all used to do together to create a home for the couple, and to create a garden. And also the couple exchange their vows to create and co-create. So they used to live very happily. There were no diseases or anything. So what Anastasia says is, when we are eating the fruits and vegetables that we have raised in our own garden, that gives us a lot of healing and a lot of great things. So she suggests that, she suggests and encourages everybody to do it. Grow your own vegetables and consume them. And one learning from this book is about the trees from this chapter, where she says that, trees around us, they're not only protecting the environment, but they're also protecting us from the negative forces. So we all know plants gives lots of nutritions. We know they take carbon dioxide and gives oxygen out. But do we know that these trees are also protecting us from bad or negative forces? Like if a person is thinking bad about you, or if any bad is going to happen to you, it seems like these trees absorb that first, and they stop the negative forces. They stop that influence on that. They stop the forces influence you. So they have so much power. So these trees have the capacity to stop that bad forces influencing you. So they have this power, and we always treat plants just as they're plants, right? We're not knowing much about them. So again, the basic concept, coming back to, she comes back to the basic concept and again encourages everyone to, grow their own domains with lots of plants and trees. This way, we can live our life in a happier way. Once we start living in our own domain or our own land on with a garden and trees around, our thoughts will change. We start taking care of the plants, we start taking care of the animals, and with lots of love and compassion towards them, right? And this automatically helps you feel joyful, purposeful, and a very meaningful. And there is you will not, in that case, you'll not have a desire to go and prove yourself somewhere else. So that is why she encourages you to grow your own domain and live happily in that place. So friends, this is what we could cover from the first few chapters. As I mentioned, this is like a 10 series, and what we have covered today is just like a 1 or 2% from the book. But I suggest that please, everybody, if you get a chance, read the book or listen to the audio book. There are a lot of audiobooks available in YouTube. Several masters explained.